Hey all, welcome to the Hindustani Techie podcast. In the next two episodes, we are going to talk about how you can evolve your engineering career from 4 to 10 years of experience. So please go through the previous episodes if you have not already gone through. So 4 to 7 years is the time during which you are going to lay the foundation for making the decision later whether you want to become an architect or a CTO or a tech lead or an engineering manager and so on. Hence, all the tips that I share in this episode are going to apply equally to all of them because the qualities and the skills that are needed are kind of similar, although the application is going to differ from one domain to the other domain. Alright, so point number one, become a polyglot. Contribute to multiple tangential stacks, know multiple programming languages, and understand how they work internally. This will help you evolve both as a tech lead and as an architect or a CTO. It will broaden your perspective and you will be able to compare different tech stacks before deciding which one to freeze for your next application. Point number two, learn to context switch faster because our brains become sharper and more comfortable as we practice more and more. Here, for example, work on two different projects on two different technologies. Let's say one in Kotlin and the other in Swift, or one project in JavaScript and the other in Go. In the meanwhile, develop your own cheat codes for different languages. Explore how the same thing can be achieved in both the stacks and compare the internal workings. For example, create a shopping app in React Native and in Flutter, and then compare how the same thing had to be done in both of them and how it works internally. Okay, point number three, do not play favorites. I've heard many engineers say that they hate a language or love a language, but the reality is that as a tech leader, you have to be open enough to explore and compare the capabilities of different stacks without a bias, and also to be able to move on to newer ones without attaching to the existing stack or language. In fact, to be able to decide neutrally, you are better off keeping a no favorite rule, not just here in tech, but everywhere. Also, please read about confirmation bias. In the book, The Art of Thinking Clearly by Rolf Dobelli, there are two chapters dedicated specially on confirmation bias. As per the book, the confirmation bias is the mother of all misconceptions. It is the tendency to interpret new information so that it becomes compatible with our existing theories, beliefs, and convictions. What this means is we are much more programmed to forget or ignore disconfirming evidence after a very short time. So we need to remember whenever something is not aligning with our assumptions or our biases and immediately correct our biases so that we do not make wrong decisions. And as a tech lead, or as an engineering manager, or as an architect, or as anything that you want to be, you have to take good decisions more and more and more. Point number four, observe problems and limitations in existing platforms, frameworks, and libraries. Create and publish components or libraries to solve them and keep working on improving them as per the feedback of the community members. This will help improve your management skills in terms of time management, in terms of feedback management, and also develop a sharp eye for use cases. Another reason I'm suggesting this is it will help improve your problem solving skills at scale, because you'll see that the first solution that you come up with doesn't work right away and you need to handle so many more use cases. Also, it'll improve your confidence. Point number 5, improve your learning speed by challenging yourself frequently to learn something in just 48 hours or just over the weekend. This will boost your confidence and remove the doubts. But to be an expert, you will need to plan time separately to go deeper. Find out what works best for boosting your grasping power. For me, creating short notes really helps. If you get bored quickly, here is one trick that I want you to try. Study in intervals of 20 minutes, and in between these intervals, bring in an activity that you really love to do. For example, if you want to learn Python and you like reading books or you like working out, so what you could do is always study Python for 20 minutes, take a break of 5 minutes, then for 10 minutes, read the book that you were reading, or do push ups for 10 minutes, or do something else that you really like. Then, next 5 minutes again, do nothing. Get back to Python for 20 minutes in the next slot. Then, again, take 5 minutes break. Then, repeat. Why this works for me is my mind gets bored very easily, but I want to learn a lot and I don't want to lose time. So I just create a good combination that my brain likes, and the reading the book or doing the push-ups or doing whatever that makes me happy, it acts like a reward system for studying for 20 minutes. So try if it works out, and hey, if this works out, do spread this episode by sharing on Twitter, on LinkedIn, etc. Because I want more and more people in India to evolve to the next level. I know so many of them do not have mentors, and we all as a community need to thrive, need to help each other. Okay, next point, become a go to person for the technology of your choice. And if you're polyglot, become a go to person for one or two technologies that you have gone deeper into. Take sessions in your organization, outside your organization, and in the larger open source community. This will help you evolve as a public speaker, and also you will get a practice of handling on the spot questions much better. If possible, write a blog to record your learnings and to summarize your learnings and make it available to the larger community. Next point, become self aware. Know your triggers and also know the solutions to fix them. Why is this important? To be able to lead technically or emotionally, or to be a good people manager, you need to know what triggers you, and you need to know how to calm down, how to handle yourself. Because if you don't, it is going to block you from time to time. There are so many books on self awareness. Uh, all you need to do is either read them or listen to the audiobook version. And even on YouTube, there are so many videos available which can help you become self aware by experimenting and by practicing and putting yourself in scenarios like the public speaking scenario that I mentioned, like taking sessions or even taking feedback on your written blog. All of these will present opportunities where you'll get triggered, where you will get angry, or you will not feel good about something, and you need to know how to handle yourself better. And it only gets better when you observe yourself, work on improving your responses, and note your observations somewhere. So it has to compound over a period of time, and slowly you'll see you don't get triggered anymore because you know what your patterns are and you know how to control them. Self awareness is also about knowing what works the best for you, what works to motivate you and to keep you disciplined. Although motivation may or may not always be there, discipline is a practice. Discipline is it's a force. So when you're self-aware, you know how to get yourself doing things that you have been procrastinating. So do that homework for yourself. It'll help you compound much faster. Alright, the last point that I have for you is become great at communicating. Communicating how you feel, communicating how you perceive, and also communicating your ideas in a simpler manner so that the other person understands. And I mentioned this in one of the previous episodes as well. You should know how to express difficult concepts in a simpler manner. But now, here, communication is huge domain, and communicating in a simple manner is just one part of it. But communicating with the right tone, in the right way, and at the right time, these are also equally important. Learn to master difficult conversations, especially when there's a conflict. Like you suggested an idea and someone contradicted it, or let's say someone else suggested an idea and you want to express some concerns around it, or you feel that the idea does not make sense in the given context, but then how do you put it in a way that they are able to listen to it with open mind and they are able to take the feedback? Or when someone contradicted you, how should you respond so that you are able to address their concerns and at the same time you can bring the attention back to the original talk while handling the concerns? So this is one of the important topics, conflict management. While we are speaking about communication, I know a lot of people have stage fear or the fear of public speaking. Yes, I'm going to say it, but go ahead and shatter your fear. Go ahead and do the public speaking that scares the hell out of you. Just face your fear. Start in a small manner. Start with friends, then go with friends plus strangers, and then to the larger audiences. There are so many platforms for doing this. Toastmasters is one, and then different cities, different companies, they have their own public speaking groups. If your company doesn't have one, go lead it, go create it, and create a community where you can practice public speaking without any fear. Now imagine you are self aware, you know what triggers you, you know how to handle it, you are great at communication, knowing what to speak at what time, and how to handle conflicts, how to handle interruptions, and how to interrupt in the right manner. And on top of this, your fear for public speaking is gone. Imagine what all you can do with this when you're taking sessions. Imagine you're participating in conferences. In fact, go and participate in conferences. Share your learnings. Share the open source contributions that you have had. If you have created any framework, any library, and it's getting adopted by multiple people in the community, go talk about it because you have all the tools necessary to do the talk. And you should go and speak publicly to create visibility, to contribute to the larger communities, and also to boost your career. Alright, so with this, we have come to the end of the podcast. These were all the major points engineers in 4 to 7 years of experience should take care and should focus on. If you like the episode, please do share with more engineers and help me develop and contribute to this community. If you have any follow up questions, or you have different opinions, or you want to add something, please do respond by tagging me on Twitter, by tagging me on LinkedIn. You know my handles. Twitter handle is THTechie, and LinkedIn it is Krati Jain. In the next episode, I'm going to cover all the points for helping engineers in 7 to 10 years evolve their careers. Thank you so much. Do take good care of yourself. Bye bye.